All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at a single document that has the power to really change how America's forests are managed. It's an executive order, and it's all about overhauling the U.S. timber industry. We're going to break down exactly what it says and what it's trying to do.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? How can one piece of paper set such a radically different course for something as huge as timber production on federal lands? Well, to find out, we have to dig right into the text of this document, Executive Order 14225.
So here are the basics. The document is officially known as Executive Order 14225, and, its title leaves absolutely no room for doubt about its mission: immediate expansion of American timber production. So let's unpack what that immediate expansion really looks like.
To really get what this order does, we first have to understand the problems it claims it's going to solve. And for that, we're looking at Section 1 of the document. It's all about the why. This one sentence pretty much gets right to the heart of the executive order's entire argument. It frames the existing federal policies not as, say, protections, but as heavy-handed obstacles. And it says these obstacles are the reason the U.S. has become so reliant on foreign lumber. And this is the official rationale, all laid out. The order basically connects a whole range of really big issues back to the way things are currently done. We're talking devastating wildfires, depending on other countries for wood, lost jobs, and it even points to damage to wildlife habitats. The core argument here is that all these problems stem from not being able to fully use our own domestic timber. Okay, so after laying out all those problems, the order gets down to business. It presents the solution, a very specific and, I've got to say, aggressive timeline for federal agencies. This is where we shift from the why to the how. Now, before we get to that timeline, we need to understand a key piece of jargon here: categorical exclusion. The simplest way to think about it is like an express lane for federal projects. If an action gets this classification, it can basically bypass some of the really lengthy, detailed environmental studies. And as you're about to see, this tool is absolutely central to the order's strategy. And here is that aggressive schedule. Just look at how fast things are supposed to happen. Within just 30 days, new guidance to boost production. By day 60, a strategy to speed up approvals under the Endangered Species Act. Then in 90 days, a whole 4-year plan with concrete timber sale targets is due. And notice how the timeline wraps up. It's all about expanding the use of those categorical exclusions we just defined, which would fundamentally change how these projects get reviewed.
Yeah, that timeline really reveals a powerful focus on one thing above all else: speed. The order repeatedly goes after what it calls undue delays, especially when it comes to environmental laws, like the big one, the Endangered Species Act, or ESA.
This slide really brings it all into focus. On the left, you've got the problems as the executive order sees them: permitting delays, burdensome regulations, slow processes. And on the right, you see the direct commands to fix them. Eliminate all delays, revise or just get rid of those burdensome rules, and even use emergency regulations to push things through faster under the Endangered Species Act. It's a very clear cause and effect setup.
Okay, so we've gone through the why and the how. Now let's just zoom out for a second and pull together the most important takeaways from this whole document. What's the bottom line here?
So, let's sum it all up. First, the order points the finger directly at existing federal policy, calling it the main roadblock. Second, it doesn't just suggest change, it demands it on an incredibly fast, non-negotiable timeline. Third, it puts a laser focus on speeding up environmental reviews. And finally, the ultimate goal, the whole point of this, is crystal clear: to significantly increase the amount of timber being sold from America's federal lands. And that really leaves us with one final thought. The text of the order, it's black and white. It's a clear plan. But the real story, that's going to unfold out there, on the ground. So the big question we're left with is this: what happens when this policy blueprint actually meets the day-to-day reality of America's forests?